I spoke to y'all earlier, and I was telling you about back when I was in my early teens. Me and my two sisters, Maria and Melissa, we used to get home from school, and we would just, for the rest of the day, we would binge watch Nickelodeon. And like I told you, if you were born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s, if you were a 90s kid, you gotta know what I'm talking about, because on Nickelodeon, they had the coolest shows back in that period. I say period like it was like the 1800s. But anyway, I wrote down some of those really cool shows, and I would have to say that my by far favorite, this was like the coolest show. We would wait until every Saturday night and turn on Nickelodeon, and we would watch, are you ready for it? Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I know that you people in your late 20s and 30s know what I'm talking about. That was the coolest show. And considering that it was for kids, I mean, it definitely wasn't Disney. I mean, Disney's a little bit softer. But, yeah, we would wait all week for that show until they started showing the reruns of it, and we would just, like, watch it all the time. And considering it was for kids, it was kind of scary. There was this one particular one I watched where, I can't remember exactly what was going on, but this girl was staying with her cousin, I think, and there was like this old abandoned house next door, and they would hear noises and see stuff. Actually, I think the girl she was staying with, her mother would like clean that house or go to that house or something like that. But the girl that was staying with them happened to go over there, and she goes in the upstairs bedroom and sees a ghost. And I remember the first time I ever watched that show, that particular episode, I was freaking out. I was like maybe 13, 12, 13, 14, something like that. And I was sitting up by myself, and I watched that, and every 3 minutes it kept getting scarier and scarier, and I would turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on, because it was good though, but it was scary. And since last Halloween of 2015, I started watching those episodes again on YouTube, and I love them. Alrighty. The next one that I really, really liked after that, I had to have loved the most, was Rugrats. Yes, ma'am. Rugrats, me and my sisters watched that for years. That was one that we would actually binge watch. I mean, and the thing I always thought was crazy was the fact that you could watch that show for years and the babies would never grow up. They always stay babies, which I thought was crazy. But I loved Angelica. Angelica, the little blonde-headed girl, she was nasty. She was mean, but you can't help but love her. All right, the next one, I'd have to say was maybe my second favorite, Salute Your Shorts. Tell me you don't know what that show is. And they just had a reunion for 25 years after the show, and they all got together except for two of them. Penske and Budnick did not make the reunion. They were actually, Penske did not go to any of them, but Budnick was at one. But I think for the 25, the one in, oh crap, I can't remember where they were. Oregon, I think. But I don't think Budnick was at that one, but he was at another one before that. But I love that show, and if you know that show, you know the episode Zeke the Plumber, and that was scary. I mean, back then, that scared everybody, and if you know the stuff I'm talking about, you know who Zeke the Plumber is, and yes, ma'am, he haunted my dreams. Okay, I think I would have to say that one of my favorites on Nickelodeon was Doug. Who does not know about Doug? You know what I mean? Doug Funny from the show Doug he was like a really big goofball. His best friend was Skeeter Valentine, and he was so in love with Patty Mayonnaise, but he had an alter ego, Doug did. He was, oh man, I can't remember his alter ego's names, but if you see this and you know what I'm talking about, please leave me a comment down below and let me know who was Doug's alter ego. Okay, one that I kind of liked, but it just seemed like all the shows that were my favorites at that time. I think one went off the air. I don't remember which one. Oh, yes. It was Clarissa Explains It All with Melissa Joan Hart. I love that show. And she was just different. She didn't mind being different. She liked being different. And she talked about, things that girls go through when they're that age and stuff. And once they took that off the air, they put up Alex Mack. That was okay, but I really liked Clarissa. And then once that ended, I think it was gone for a while, and then they started playing reruns, and I watched them too. I'm gonna tell you, if I love a show, I will watch them reruns till they stop playing them. You know what I mean? But anyway, also I loved that show. All That, it was kind of like a kids SNL. It was funny. It was Amanda Bynes. Wow, it was so long ago. I can't remember. Keenan and Kel. I can't remember all that was on there. I'll have to look it up. But like I said, if you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Leave me a comment and tell me who everybody else was. But anyway, the last thing that I probably watched, I loved the game shows on there. That one show, What Would You Do? With, like when it comes on, the theme song's got that huge eyeball. It was so funny. But anyway, I really liked that show. I liked Legends of the Hidden Temple. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And my favorite game show on Nickelodeon was Guts. I know y'all gotta know what I'm talking about. Guts. I have never been a sports person, never played sports, didn't do any of that. I was a complete girly girl when I was growing up, but I did love that show. And I remember one time when I was sick, I had to stay home from school, and I think it was just me and my mama home alone, and I was sick. I'm talking about like, ugh, and fevers and headaches and all that, but I was laying on the couch on my sick bed, and I was watching Nickelodeon, of course, and I was like, Mama, will you please watch Guts with me? And she was like, dude, what? And I was like, it's a game show. And even though I did not like sports, didn't play any sports, didn't want to see any sports, I loved that show. And I always wanted to be able to have a big piece of that green rock. Even though, I would never go on the show to get it, but I always wanted a piece of that rock. But anyway, if y'all know these shows, please leave me a comment and tell me who you are, how old you were back then when you used to watch them, because to me, it didn't matter how old I was, how old my sisters were, we loved that stuff, okay? So y'all leave me a comment and tell me which shows were your favorites. Let me know some details about these shows that I just can't remember no more. And as always, I love you, and I will see you next time.